Hello, we have Mike here again.
You sound disappointed.
Am I? Every discussion is some kind of disappointment.
Oh, we have Mike here again, guys. Oh no. I guess our previous project wasn't very successful. Huh?
Yeah, we had a lot of views, by the way. We had a lot of views.
Yeah,
very
real,
successful.
Yeah.
We got some comments.
A lot of feedback. Yeah. It's I don't really know how to handle this response. Like, it just
there is no
it
time.
Just came out of nowhere. Yeah, there's so much demand and
good questions are out there.
I wonder if we'll get recognized soon, like on the street.
Might be.
Yeah.
Maybe we should start. But anyway, so the other day, you had an interesting topic for a discussion. You wanna give us a little sneak in to that interesting topic?
Yeah. So the question is, we've spoken about this in the past. We've observed that there's a tendency to want to use things that you paid for. So for instance, rent is the best example of this kind of thing, where if you're paying rent, it kind of hurts to leave your apartment because there's this feeling of, oh, I'm paying $800 a month or whatever, then I should be using those $800 a month, which means living in the apartment. So if I'm going for a trip or something, there's always this feeling of...
So in other words, you're saying that there is, when you're not in the apartment, there is that you paid money for that room, basically, or for the half of the house. And when you don't use it, you wasting your money. That's basically the idea.
Yeah, it can feel that way.
Yeah.
It can feel that way. And the question is, does that make sense from an econ perspective? Or is that purely a fallacy that needs to be overcome? Like,
yeah.
Is there logic or reason behind that, or is it just another one of those quirks that don't actually make sense once you dig down into it?
And what I think is so interesting is that because I think we can both agree that we can see both sides, and both sides are really good. So it's really hard. That's what we're basically gonna do here, is start dig into what side is better, and not necessarily there is. And what I mean sides is are you actually? Well, let's try first of all with saying what's the arguments. So what's the two options?
That's the thing.
Let's make it more clearly.
I'm not sure I'm as convinced as you are about the defense of it, like why it does make sense. Because to me...
No, let's try to clarify first of all what's the two sides.
So yeah, maybe you can present the side of why it does make sense, because I don't think I'm as...
So that side. Maybe you should clarify the side of not, when it's not a waste of time. Because I don't think it's clearly what are the two sides.
Time?
Not waste of money, waste of money.
Yeah, okay, so I'll
present that side.
Yeah, I'll present why I think it's a fallacy. Because basically you're already paying. So let's go back to the rent example.
Yeah.
You're already paying every month. You're gonna keep paying every month. You have a year-long contract. So you already signed up for the entire year. And now let's say, for instance, let's take a hypothetical situation. Someone offers you a free vacation.
Okay, no.
Someone offers you a free vacation, and so a month long, you get to spend a month long on a beach in Hawaii. Right?
Yes.
You won't be spending any more money, but you'll be leaving your apartment. Now it's still gonna hurt. It's gonna feel like, oh, I just paid for a whole month of rent for no reason.
When you go to Hawaii?
You're going to Hawaii for free.
Yes. And you're still saying when you're at your house, no, when you're not, but you're losing money for that $1,000. Let's say it's $1,000.
So in the case of getting a free vacation and you're leaving your apartment, it's gonna hurt you, and it seems like that doesn't actually make sense from an economic perspective.
Why?
Because you're not you essentially didn't spend any new money here. You were paying for your apartment anyway. Whether or not you would have stayed in the apartment, you were still paying for it. And you didn't spend any money going out of your apartment. So nothing happened. It's just a psychological thing where it's like, I paid for it, so I should use it.
Yeah, yeah. That's a good representation of that side. And let me also, I don't know if it's like saying my side or also asking a question on your side. So why do you think, why do you lose money? One example that you can actually lose money is because you're not, you can rent that house, theoretically speaking. Now you can say though, that's a good defense. Unless you're saying that...
No, but I think for the purpose of conversation, we're talking about a case, it's more interesting in a case
you don't get it. So let's say it's like, you don't want to do Airbnb. So let's say it's your house, you own the house, and even now it's not, this is out of the table. So I think we should clarify that this is out of the table first.
No, that's a good clarification. That's a good clarification.
So that's out of the table, and I will still say, let's try to, I'll try to take the other side. It's not that clear, but it's a harder side, I think.
Yeah, you present the side of why it would make sense still in that situation to feel disappointed.
Yeah. Because you're actually paying for that house to live there. It's really hard when you have this argument of, but I'll still say it. And so it's not in the, not necessarily very irrational, but I'll try first of all with the irrational side, and then we'll try to find a rational side to it. You paying to stay in the apartment, to be there, to actually be there. And when you're not there, and you can also say you actually spend more money. So in other words, you're losing money here. Compared to what? I don't know. No, that's true. I could not earn money, but I'm losing money here because I'm also... What am I using? Why am I losing money? It's a little hard to like, but there is like some...
Yeah, that's why...
That's the other side, basically, that you are losing money. First of all, it feels like you're losing money.
Right.
Like, let's acknowledge that part of us that say you lose money, and that's some kind of like... It's a feeling. It's at least a feeling that we have. We are losing money, and I think the reason that we feel that way is that we paying for staying, right? I think that's the explanation, the rational explanation that I see for why we care so much about it, is that you're paying to stay. Are you in the apartment? No. So you're losing money. See, that's a...
Right, but
I'm trying again. That's
no. For sure that side is harder to defend, especially because I set up the situation
in that way,
where you really aren't spending more money. If you go to a more realistic situation, it becomes easier to defend that side. Like if you're going on vacation, you're paying for flights, and you're paying for food, and you're paying for a hotel.
You can still say though.
But I wanted to bring up something else, which I think will be relevant to this. Take an example. Let's say you got a gym, a membership gym. No, yoga. We both do yoga. Let's say you got a yoga membership.
All right.
Now, technically, you're paying $100 a month, and that means you can go to a class every day.
You want to take it down a little? Yeah. Just a little.
So you can go to a class every day. But we go 3 times a week, and we're okay with it. Like, we don't like...
We're not going every day. That's what you're saying.
Right, and you also don't feel like you're losing money on the days that you don't go.
As a Jew, I do feel sometimes a little waste, I must say.
Right,
but I try not to, yes.
Yes,
that is true.
So the question is, what's the difference? Because when you leave if you looked at rent like that, say you said, I'm paying for a year-long membership, but I'm not going to go every day, I'm not going to go every month, I'm not going to live there every month of the year. Like, it seems to be very similar. Somehow with the rent, there's a different, like, and this leads me to be very suspicious of this feeling, because in other situations we seem to be completely okay with buying like a membership or buying something and then not using it all the time. So why is it that in some cases it really bothers us, in other cases it doesn't? I think that's it.
Yeah, that's definitely a good point. I think that leaving the house is never, it's your house. You're not supposed to leave your house unless you say, yeah, but statistically you are losing, you're leaving your house for 2 months a year, because that's what happens. but every time it's like I'm away from my house and I'm paying fucking rent. I think also another explanation is, theoretically, I could end the lease right now, and let's say you do it for like, I think it's like 2 weeks is not as hard. When you lose like for 2 months, theoretically you could end the lease and start a new one. Or even if you decided that you don't want to do Airbnb, in theory, you can still do it. So, okay, you decided, yes, that's agreed, but theoretically you can. So I think just the theory, just the idea that you could earn money can mean that you lose money. And that's a different question. Is the idea of losing money can considered to be losing money?
Right.
The possibility to win or the possibility to earn.
But I'm not sure, it's an interesting thing to explore in of itself, but I'm not sure that that's what's contributing to the feeling. Like, I don't think that we feel bad leaving for a month because we know that we could be doing Airbnb. It feels to me like it's not that.
I think
it's simpler. It's much like it's this like immediate psychological response. Like, it's not because we know that we could be. I think
that's what goes into like into account, at least.
That's what it feels like to you. You think there's like a process where you're like, I know I could be making money now. I'm not making money.
I think I don't think it's that complicated. Even for like how you can say like for a simple man, like I'm just losing money. I need to do this whole thing is just because you gave me the idea that you can't. On the papers, I try to go like a little around the idea, but
right.
Like when you ask just like the stupid people and like why you want to lose it, like everyone understand that when you're not in an apartment and paying for that, and you going away, you should get money for that. Because I think also it's like the fact that I'm here based on we pay monthly. I think that also has some kind of a psychological effect. You're paying monthly fee.
Right, but that's actually in defense of why
yeah,
it might
it's
be
a little
fallacy.
Yes. That could be though like more of like trying to understand that fallacy.
Yeah, exactly. And that's, you bring up a very good point, because I've noticed that if I am feeling bummed out for like leaving for a few months, if I just switch to thinking about the rent yearly, it feels much better right away. Like just being like, okay, I'm not paying $700 a month, I'm paying whatever amount a year. Suddenly leaving for a few months, it still hurts, but it hurts less. Which means that
but I think
the way of thinking about it makes a huge difference.
But in order to like I have like some response to that is that theoretically, again, you can, let's say you are moving out for 2 months, you can end the lease, don't pay for 2 months and start a new one.
Right. Okay. So let's get to an interesting aspect of this, because to me the interesting question is, what happens if it causes you to do less stuff? Is that something that makes sense, or should we be pushing back against that? Like, for instance, what if you really want to do a month-long trip, and if you were not paying rent, you would do a month-long trip, but now that you're paying rent, you're like, well, now I'm paying rent, so I'm not going to do the trip. Like, what if it comes to the extent where we'll do less things out of the apartment because we're paying for the apartment? What's the approach to that?
Well, I don't understand the question.
The question is, it hurts to leave because you're paying. It
hurts to leave, yes.
Right. What if that means that you start leaving less? You start doing less shit.
Because you don't want to lose.
Exactly.
That's
Does
a different
that mean that it's having a
bad
problematic
effect.
consequence, or is that not a problematic consequence?
That's an interesting question. If it's a bad question, if you can consider, first of all, you're not losing money, you're saving money. The question is, do you care about the fact that you're not leaving the apartment?
No, that's what I'm saying. Let's take
if you do care about leaving the apartment, like you do want to go out for trips, you want to explore the world, and that causes you to not do that, I do tend to say that it is some kind of a bad consequences as a result.
Right, like let's take.
But there is like a counter argument for that, is that maybe you should not leave. The question is like, if you care, I think I got it. If you're a person that cares about losing a month rent, it means that you don't have too much money. It means that you don't have too much money to spend on a trip. Maybe you should not do that trip.
But you're not losing a month rent, you see, again.
Theoretically, again. Like, no, some people don't even think about it. Like, when you earn, let's say you earned like $100,000, I think we would care much less about going out of that apartment for 2 months.
That's what I'm saying. I'm going back to the whole like.
I think that
not
has something.
spending more money situation.
What do you mean?
Like the free. Let's say it's free.
It's free?
Like the free scenario.
What's the free scenario?
You can leave the apartment and you're not going to spend more money. Here,
No.
We can make it very concrete. It doesn't have to be so like thought experiment. My case, we can take my situation. This is very practical. I go on retreats in the summer.
Yeah.
I don't end up spending more money because I actually spend. I've made the calculations. I spend less money overall.
Yeah.
Because I don't spend on food and a bunch
Oh
of
yeah,
other
yeah,
stuff.
yeah, I remember.
So I don't end up spending more money. It pretty much like balances out.
Yeah.
But here's the question: would it make sense for me? Would it be would it be a rational thing to not go on long retreats because I'm paying rent? That's the question.
That's much harder to defend.
Right.
Because I think it's a point that you're also losing money in the other location. So in this case, I think the only thing that I can think of that actually matters here is that the fact that you could theoretically rent the apartment, or alternatively, you could end the fucking rent and start it over 2 months afterwards. Theoretically, I think this is what we care so much about it is like.
But once you know you can't do that you can't do that. In our situation,
It's much harder to defend without it's like I don't think you can rationalize too much the side that I'm presenting. It has some
that effect. That's the problem.
Definitely, we have that effect.
Right. Because I found myself like thinking like, oh, maybe I should do like a 3-month retreat one summer, and it's like, it hurts so much to pay for 3 months of rent and not live at home.
Yeah.
But that doesn't make any sense. But it hurts. Like from an econ perspective, there's no reason.
It's totally irrational. You can say that it's totally irrational.
Yeah.
Yeah, econ would not like that.
No.
The question, if you really, I think we didn't answer like a different question is like the theory that you could make money is actually losing, and I think if we answer that, I think it's a bigger question because there is two sides for that. Yes, you agreed. I'll give you that. I agreed. We agreed to not. You cannot make this money. This is not a possibility.
Right.
In this situation. But in theory, practically it can happen. But theoretically speaking, you could make money. Right?
Yeah, but so how would you extend that to the yoga case?
Why you don't care that much?
Yeah. I mean, theoretically, you could be getting more value from it, which is money, basically.
No, I think you don't want to go more.
Right, but theoretically, you could go more.
Yeah, but you don't want to.
But
like here, you want to live here. Yeah, I want to live at home. Sure.
No, but you don't want to do Airbnb. It's actually
what is it?
Quite similar.
No.
You don't want to do Airbnb, but you're saying you could theoretically do Airbnb.
Yeah, but you want to live in the apartment, so you like the other situation. You like both cases. Going every day to yoga, you don't want it even. It's not appealing for you.
Yeah.
But going, I think that's the distinction. When going to Hawaii, you have no problem staying at home. So that's the yoga, right? You're comparing yoga to home. You're comparing yoga to home. In other words, you're saying yoga is a home.
No, but
nothing happens if you don't go to your house every once in a while, right? It's like you don't go to the yoga studio every day. That's the argument.
The apartment situation, the apartment scenario, which what's the hypothetical money you could be making? Renting it out.
Renting it out.
You don't want to.
You don't want to. No, you want to. You want to, but you can't. Theoretically, you want to. Like
no, you don't though.
You do. You do want it, but you can't have it. Okay. Theoretically, why you don't like it? You don't like it because they will make a mess.
Right.
They will break things. But if nothing would happen, if you leave the house exactly as you live and you wouldn't know, you wouldn't care. Like you want it. You still want that side. You want it to happen, you can't. You decided. It's a decision you made.
Right,
to
because you
can't.
don't want to. Like the same reason you just said. Like,
You want to. I just
like
think it's
not
that you
wanting
don't want
go
to.
yoga
It's,
every day.
it's. I think you need to like. It's two wants. I don't know if you can like split wants to two.
You're
Can you
saying
do
that theoretically, in a perfect world where
No, you want. It's not that you don't want that to happen. Like you don't. Like you want to go to every day to yoga in every situation. No, you just
no, but
no. I don't care about
I
it.
don't want to do Airbnb either.
You want to do Airbnb? Like I want, yes. Do you want to rent your apartment? Yes, but why you don't do it? I can because blah blah blah. You have like all kinds of like.
Yeah, no, I hear what you're saying.
I don't know. I can't really say what the difference is between the situations. Like maybe it's like, but there is some differences.
Yeah. No, I hear you.
It's like two wants. I don't know. Maybe you can split wants to two, so different kind of wants.
Right.
So want. I don't know. Want. In two terms of wants. Do you know any?
No, but we'll just go with that, and our two listeners will have to figure it out.
Yeah. No, I think I made those two pretty clear. I'm just trying to give them names. I think those two wants, and I think that's a problem. And do you have anything? So that's like a kind of a defense to that side I took here.
Yeah, no, it's interesting. I mean,
Back to, and you can go back to that question whether theoretically making money is a problem or it's a loss. Is theoretically making money is a loss?
yeah, my go-to is to say no.
Yeah. But why no? You need to defend that side.
Because it's like, I have this sometimes with Uber. I don't know if you get this with Uber, but let's say I'll decide that I want to like get something to eat sometimes. And because I was online and I was making money, when I go offline, I feel that.
Yeah. I get the same feeling.
That's fucking ridiculous. Because you're offline all week.
Yeah.
But somehow, because you were offline for 3 hours before, you were online.
When you have like, it's actually interesting also to think about like when is the time frame, because it could happen like a little afterwards. It happened to me, for example, that when I go offline, sometimes when I'm back home, I will still feel that feeling. So I think there is also a time frame that still affect. You understand what I'm trying to say?
Right. But I'm saying
it's also interesting to think about like in what time frame are we talking here, because it has its effect out of the time you work. So how far it goes, how far it affects you.
I'm saying that the Uber example is a perfect example of why the I could be making money thing is completely irrational, because
I can rationalize that a little. Like you can have a reasons, because you could work an hour more. Oh, okay. Let's start with the food thing. Okay, the food thing. So
no. Forget about the fact that you're spending on the food. No.
I'm not trying to go that way. I'm saying you could not eat. You can eat afterwards. Like you decided to go for 6 hours. That's also a problem. When you decided to go for 6 hours and you eat a little half an hour, right? You're working for 5.5 now. You're not working 6.
No, okay, so I'll stay out for half an hour more. I do.
Sometimes you don't. Sometimes when I go out.
What if I do? Let's take that example to make it more focused.
So eat afterwards. Eat after work. Like you could theoretically, you're staying in the car right now. You're in the car.
No, but you see, that's a great example. Eat afterwards. If I was eating afterwards, I wouldn't feel that. But it's the same exact situation.
No, because you could eat afterwards. You can eat afterwards.
Let's take it interesting. Okay, here. This is a good two cases to compare them.
Yeah.
One of them is I stop 3 hours in and I eat for half an hour. And I feel like, oh, I could be working right now.
Yes.
The second one is I work for 6 hours, I go offline, and then I go to eat. And then I'm like, oh, yeah, this is great.
So, yeah.
Like,
not trying to, I'm totally, but I will take that side again. I will take that side. That's my side, I think, this evening. That's what's going on. Not necessarily, I'm not fully with that side.
You need to defend the harder side to defend.
Yes.
Threw you under the bus here.
Yeah, but I will try anyway. So first of all, we'll try with the first example. Let's take each example by itself.
Yeah.
Dissect that side first. So you're saying when you go, sometimes I'll start with the other one. So sometimes for me anyway, when I finish work and I go to eat, or when I'm coming back home, sometimes I'll go into the Uber and I say, I could make more money right now. unless that's the time, I do have a little of that feeling. A little. Not as much as if I do make
If it's
a
in the
break.
middle of the shift.
Yes, not as much. So I tried both. Yes, but not as much. But I still have a little something, especially if there is a surge. That really hurts, by the way.
Yeah.
Just back home, and you're like, there's a surge. It's like, oh shit, I should have stayed.
Yeah.
So that's a little bit of a defense. And why the middle is so important. So I'm trying. First of all, the first defense is that there is like a closer to that event, you have a feeling of losing. So let's say it doesn't happen to you. You could work before. No, that doesn't make sense. I think just the feeling of being in the car and working.
Yeah, I know why the feeling happens.
Oh, okay, that's not. No, okay.
But it's not rational.
Another way of trying to defend that way is that you sit in the car. For sitting in the car, you should get paid. So that's why it's different than staying back home. You could eat at your house, but you eat in the car. Car time equal money time.
No, so
you haven't made money.
No. So let's make it a different. That's why I'm specifically saying you're not eating in the car. You're eating in a place that you like to eat. In the place, and I'm comparing
in the place.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm comparing it to an example where you stop on the way home and you eat in the place. The only difference is that with one of them you stop in the middle of the shift, and with
I have another try to defend. Different times. That's more flexible. You could work right now, get a very good fucking ride. You could get the ride of your life. Oh, you stop right now. Good job.
Right. Yeah, that's why it hurts, because that's.
Yeah, but afterwards, I'm done working. That's it. I'm out. I'm offline. I could not get anything right now, theoretically, right? But there, theoretically, you could get the ride of your life.
No,
but you were offline.
But theoretically,
but you could do it every other hour. You could do that. Let me try to defend that way, and then you can defend, like try to like take it down. It's not that hard, but again about it.
Pretty fucking flimsy. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, but it's a side.
No,
so
go ahead.
That's more flexible. Okay, you could work. You could get out of 5, and you will agree with me. That's flexible. You don't have like and it's flexible by nature, because by definition it's actually flexible, because you don't know when to work, because you don't know how far will you go or when you will end up in downtown. Usually you're not gonna eat in other places, so it's really, you don't know when it happens. So you decide, okay, I'll stop eating, right? So that's more flexible, and you're missing, theoretically again, the ride of your life.
Right, but aren't you missing the ride of your life theoretically at the end too?
You're offline. You're totally offline for the whole. I'm offline. I think there is a difference between when you say I'm offline right now. That's it. It's like right now you have any feelings about it? No, I'm offline.
No,
this is not an option even.
But you're explaining the psychology.
Yes.
I think we understand the psychology, but the question here is it rational?
I think you can even question that psychology here. But okay.
No, the fact that it feels that way, we know.
Yeah, the question why you feel that way.
No, your explanation of why I think is a good explanation. Because
which you can argue about that too.
It's still why it happens.
You could not necessarily. I'm saying it's not necessarily the right explanation.
Right. No. Yeah.
Okay,
sure.
but forget about that.
But again, I think these kind of examples to me demonstrate, and you can come up with many other examples of this, of how the theoretically making money thing only bothers us in very specific situations and not in others, which suggests to me that it's not legit. If it was legit, we should be bothered all the time by all the theoretical times we're not making money. But for some reason, it's only very specific like scenarios where we're like, oh, I could have been making money now.
Yeah,
there's so many others that we don't care about.
Rationally, again, you saying you could have.
I'm saying rationally.
Yeah, no. Rationally, you're saying that you could.
You could have worked a whole other night, Uber.
No, you could like make right now money on the stock market if you would had money. So the question, how far does that thing go?
I'm saying it doesn't go very far.
No, I'm saying like I think even if you go like with your side, with your rational side, where is the line there? I'm gonna try to take your side and expand that way. We really like where the line goes. We really like that question. It's a shitty ass song, by the way.
It's finishing.
Anyway. So, okay, are you losing money right now because you don't have money in the stock market? Or you don't have money? Theoretically, you could have money and have it in the stock market.
Yeah, that's why I'm.
Are you losing money?
No, you're not.
No, you're not.
Yeah.
Why?
I'm pushing the other way. I'm saying that.
Rationally.
I'm saying that the whole idea, which we started out with you, the question that you posed about whether being able to theoretically make money is a loss. I'm saying the answer to that is no, and the fact that we feel that way sometimes is a fallacy.
But I can give you some examples that you're actually losing money.
Theoretically?
No, actually losing money.
Yeah. Then
no, but theoretically it's not. No, theoretically it's not.
Yeah, what's the example?
Think a bit about an example. It's not an easy one.
You jumped in too quickly, huh? You thought you had an example.
Yeah, that's hard. It's a hard example. It's a hard example to come with.
Yeah. But I'm saying you committed to an example.
Yeah.
Too quickly. You can think about it.
What's the requirement again?
You're trying to find an example where there is a theoretical loss that I would agree with is actually a loss, rationally is actually a loss. Yeah.
I'm sure there is. I can try a few, but maybe they won't go that far. I'm saying that there is other cases that I will say the fact that you are actually losing money, and you can say that rationally you shouldn't care about it because yearly you can always say that way. So I think I can say, when do you actually say, where is the line when you say, okay, you're actually losing money? When you're actually losing money? When, as an econ, you're actually losing money? I think it will be harder for you to define in what times you're actually losing money.
Right.
So you want to try? You have any example when you're actually losing money for your side that you represent?
Yeah, the losing money from this perspective would be very concrete. It would be like if you leave the apartment, for instance, and you went and you spent a ton of money on a vacation, then you technically lost money.
If you have a better idea, you lost money in the casino. Is that loss?
You can get into a whole discussion about whether it was worth it, but yeah, you have less money.
You for your side that you represent, you consider that a loss. Econ will say, you're representing an econ here, will say you lost. It's a loss.
Less money.
Yeah, you're saying that living in your apartment is not a loss. That's your side.
No, my side is it's not. My side is that
it's not a loss. It's not. You don't consider that as a loss.
If you spend extra money, then possibly we're talking.
No. We're talking about that. Yeah, no. I don't understand. But when you actually losing money in the casino, you consider for you to lose money.
Yeah. You walked in with $1,000. You walked out with $500. You now have less. Yeah.
But when you take that, I'll take your argument a little farther. When you take that, you said but when we think about it yearly, that's not big of a deal. You lose a few $1,000s. So let's say not $1,000, $100 loss in the casino. That's a loss. But when you look at it on a yearly or 50-year perspective, that's nothing. So why it's a loss? Trying to understand where I'm trying to go here?
Yeah, I think your analogy breaks down.
Why?
Because the whole discussion about the apartment is whether or not you're losing anything. That's what we're talking about here.
You're saying that you don't. You say you don't lose.
Not because of thinking about it on a yearly basis.
That's what was one of your arguments.
Yeah, no, but we need to come back to what we were talking about here. Stay focused.
Yeah, man.
The theoretically being able to make money part. That's what we're focusing on.
Yeah.
You kind of went off track now to a different thing.
Yeah, in order
thinking about it yearly is a different thing to open up. I want us to stay on the does theoretically being able to make money make you lose money? Is that a loss?
Yeah, and you say it's not.
I say it's not, right. So then the casino example is not similar. Casino, you actually lost money. You walked in with $1,000 and now you have $500. In the apartment, you didn't actually lose any money. You could have made.
I'm trying to say, but But I'm taking it a little farther. Okay, you saying, but are you lost money? Because I think you lost. My side is you lost money here on the appointment. That's the side I'm representing.
Because you could have theoretically made
Yes, but you lost money.
Right. So I'm saying the casino one. Yes. Okay. So
you agree that you lost. I think you lost. You're saying you're not lost. You didn't lost. But in the apartments, in the casino side, you're saying you're lost.
Yes. Yeah.
But what if I will say that this is on a yearly basis? I think no. We need to take that. We need to go there, because one of your defenses for your side that this is not a loss, right? Losing money is because even if no, it was when was that argument is that you look at it on a yearly perspective and that's nothing.
I was saying that helps for it not to hurt as much. Yeah. I'm not saying that's justified necessarily.
But that's an argument.
Not
you
really.
use that argument.
I didn't use that argument. I was suggesting that actually helps the psychology of it. It might be another fallacy.
Okay.
But it makes it feel better.
Makes it feel better.
Yeah. No, I think I probably agree with you that if you start thinking about things, playing around with the view that which you see it through, if that helps, it's probably a fallacy because nothing really changed. But I think that again, if we stay on the whole theoretically losing money, is that a loss thing? Theoretically making money, sorry.
No, let's take the Uber example then.
Yeah, okay.
Let's take the Uber example. You're saying you didn't lost money. Okay, it's not. You still think it's different than the casino situation?
Yes.
You can make a different. You can make a comparison.
There is a clear difference between having money and then having less money, or having the same amount of money when you know you could have had more. There really is a difference there. One of them I think is actual loss. The other one is some sort of psychological like fuck up that makes you feel like you lost.
Yeah, I can say that even that loss, when you take that loss, forget about any other. What do you think about when you lost? Your side, well, when you lost money in the casino, is that a loss? Forget about everything that we just talked. Let's say, like, open a new question. You will connect back to that question. But let's start to take that we didn't spoke anything before, okay? So with a new thing, is that a loss? What do you think? With a rational perspective, will that be a loss? Yes, I think that the question will be yes.
Well,
unless you say no.
How are you defining loss? Like not worth
the way a rational person will define, the way econ will define a loss.
No, an econ will still justify certain expenditures. An econ will still say that it makes sense to spend money sometimes.
But a loss, when it's considered a loss. It's not that hard.
It is hard because I'm not sure how you're defining loss right now.
Loss
it has a negative connotation.
Okay, whatever you consider it.
No,
a rational econ must have some kind of expression when you lose money, right? There is earning money and there is losing money.
Yeah. Yes. Okay. Fine. Yeah.
When do you lose money?
So yeah, it's a loss. It's a loss. Yeah.
It's a loss when you lose in the casino.
Yeah.
But I can take that side and say, but in a yearly perspective, you haven't lost. You have that part in losing money. You have this. Why do you feel that you lost money? Anyway, what I'm trying to clarify here, or to make more clear, is that even that you can irrationalize that loss by saying yes, but in a yearly or 50-year perspective, you haven't lost anything.
Yeah, but you still lost. It's still. Do you agree that it's?
That's also an econ. That's an econ view.
No, fair, but.
But you still. So why do you feel that you lost money in a casino?
No, but there's still a fundamental difference between actually losing money and theoretically being able to make money. I think that's.
Yeah.
Okay, so we agree. That,
yeah, we agree there is a difference, but I'm sure. I'm raising a question about the rational side. It is also a little problematic.
But it doesn't hurt. No, but that's.
What do you mean doesn't hurt?
That's exactly the difference. Going into a casino doesn't pinch us that way. We spend money all the time. It doesn't pinch us.
It pinch. It pinch. Yeah, it pinch much more than when I don't get the money from the apartment, man. Much more.
No,
so here I lost $700. I don't care that much. Theoretically, you lost $700, right? In the casino, when I lose $700, oh, that hurts very much.
Right.
Like
No,
you're devastated, man.
Right, but the casino is a good example, but if you take just a standard purchase, for instance,
You got something in return.
right.
It's not the same. But what I'm trying to like say here, that there is a problem with rationalize even that. So in other words, a econ will never say a loss is a loss. Just zoom out more. Like, oh, okay, you're looking on a 50 years? Why are you looking on a 50 years? Look on a 50,000 years. Oh, you're looking on a 50,000 years. I'm gonna look on a million years now.
Yeah.
So that's not rational. So you can always go
No, but I don't
like the
think
econ. I
again-
think the econ is always a step ahead of you. It's like, oh,
No,
why are you looking that close?
But that's
Zoom
the
out
thing.
again.
I don't think zooming out is a justification.
That's the econ view, though.
That's not the econ.
That's the econ view.
No, it's not.
It's part of the econ view, and specifically on a casino situation. Forget about everything. Like, forget about the situation here. You can
I
always.
don't think that's part of the econ view that you zoom out.
It's
I'm not sure. About
usually why you think in the casino is not that's the. You will say econ will say on a casino situation that you lost money, right? But no, but I as another econ.
That's not
As
another
I-
econ. That's irrational. That's what I'm saying. The
It's
zooming
very
out-
the zooming out is very rational. That's the econ view, I think.
No, I don't.
Yes.
I don't think
Why do you think? Oh, you lost $100. Do you think it's a loss?
it's a loss.
It's a loss. You think it's a loss? Losing $100 in the casino.
Yeah.
Even when you look on the 10 years
That's not
view,
rational.
that's
what
not
I'm-
rational. Looking on a 10 years perspective, that's much more rational than looking on a 1 day. Oh, it's like same thing on in the Uber thing.
Yeah, I don't think the zooming out thing is that's another fallacy. That's what I was saying.
No, you're saying like, why do you don't care about any other situation? You care only when in the Uber situation. What are you saying? You don't care about any of other times. You care only about that time. But you have any other time to do that. But you care only about that time. Right?
Yeah.
That was that view. So you say the same. You can say the same on the casino example.
I lost you.
I think I lost myself.
Yeah.
Let's try to.
You're pointing out the zoom out thing, which is an interesting question in and of itself. I completely.
I think
agree.
no. I think you can use that a lot, right?
That like what? That in the big picture.
No, is that a loss again? Is that a loss? Is econ? I think econ will say that a loss is not. I think it's like they spoke about it like in for sure a few books that I heard. Losing a fucking it's like the same like losing. You have a yearly budget of losing. Why do you think it's losing? Why do you have that feeling of losing? It's irrational too, right?
Yeah.
The irrational of okay.
Yeah.
So all feelings of losing are irrational? In the casino example, do you feel a loss? Yes. But you say, no, why? Look at that. So let's redefine or rephrase the question. Will an econ supposed to feel a loss? And I will say never. But that's a problem. When you say you can never feel a loss, you have a problem if you can never do that. That's so what? There is no. What are we talking here?
Yeah.
You can say on something that he can never do. It's like some kind of a god. Oh, he can never feel a loss. It's not realistic. In other words, econ should never feel a loss. Do you agree? You agree with that phrase?
Yeah, I'm not sure about that.
Why?
I'm not sure about that because there's definitely an adaptive advantage to feeling loss. I feel like that's getting into a completely different topic. Let's loop it back. Let's come back because I think we kind of went off here a little bit.
We did.
Let's loop it back all the way back to the beginning with the leaving the apartment thing.
Yeah.
And
So
And I think
So I can paste that here, that you should never feel a loss for anything. I think it's important. I think it's an important point.
there's
No, I go back to that. I didn't like you. You're like, let's go back. Because no, it's a good point I have there.
I was trying to loop around, and you took me away again. Yeah, I think we should focus on the practical. Say we both agree, I think, in general, that feeling bad about leaving the apartment when you're paying for it.
It's irrational.
It's irrational, exactly.
So now my question now, the new question I have, is when do you feel a loss? Yes, it's irrational, I'll give you. This situation is irrational. But is there other situation that it's not irrational? And if you say no, there isn't, you cannot, I think you can't even say that right now it's irrational. So when is irrational? If it's never irrational, if it's never rational, if it's never irrational, yeah, you cannot say that it's always rational, right? It's like, you understand what I'm trying to... No. There is only one side to that coin. It has to be a different side. If there is no other side to that coin, you have only one side coin.
Right.
You have to have, like, when do you lose? When is it considered a loss? And I think you must agree that there is some kind of way, right? Theoretically, it has to be a way of losing, right?
Yeah, the one thing that's coming to my mind now is that if it's in your budget or if it's not in your budget, but that's also ridiculous.
Yeah, well, when you lose, 50 years, that's why where the zooming out thing is here again. Like, oh, you're looking at the 50 years, what do you think?
You just add it to the budget of the next year.
Yeah. Oh no. Do again? That's what the zooming out. Do 100-year budget. What are you looking at a 50-year budget? Are you old motherfucker? What are you doing?
Right.
Zoom out again. Zoom out again and zoom out again and zoom out again, and you never stop zooming out.
Yeah, and this actually leads
so I think the econ is just not exist. I think that's
the econ for sure doesn't exist. We know that.
Not exist. It couldn't be existed.
You're saying it's logically impossible.
Because he doesn't have two sides. It's just representing one. Like, what is that?
No, I mean, theoretically, it could be possible for someone to take the position that there's no such thing as a loss. Like, not that there's no such thing as a loss, you shouldn't get upset. That's what we're more talking about here. Like, you shouldn't get upset.
You shouldn't feel that. So
yeah,
you totally...
We're talking about the pinch here. Like, that's really what we're talking about.
So you want to delete, so econ will delete just the loss, just the feeling of loss.
Yeah, theoretically, I'm saying someone could defend that position. I think we think that that's tricky.
Yes, very tricky. You're actually deleting a whole feeling in that person. So is it good? I don't know. Like, you actually, Mike, you don't have a loss anymore.
Right. So, and that leads back to why it makes sense to have this feeling, but it doesn't make it rational. It just means that it helps for you to act in certain ways that might be beneficial.
So in some kind of a summary, you can say that it's either you have it or you don't have a loss at all. I'm doing like a very dichotomy here, right? I'm giving you a dichotomy, but I don't think it's a false one. It's either you agree to have it or no, and okay, so you don't have a feeling of loss anymore.
Right, but that's the thing, and this is where I was trying to go a minute ago, is that I do think, like, I've noticed in my own life that certain things where I would feel pinched, but if I think about it for a while and kind of like actually get into it and like analyze it, that can diminish over time.
Yeah, but you can always do that basically, and eventually you will lose that. Theoretically speaking, again, if you'll be a econ, you don't have a emotion of loss anymore.
Yeah,
and you can say that on everything. So the econ will say the same. Like, it's a robot. I think an econ is a robot. No feeling existent. And
yeah, but I think we can still say that there are cases.
Because you can say the same. Like, let's say you're like someone died. What do you feel a loss?
No, okay, let me give you an example. What if tomorrow you woke up and you...
What I'm trying to say, you have before you're going into that. I'm trying to say, like, you want to have a feeling of loss. The question is how much of it. Yes, but if you don't have it at all, that might be a problem.
I completely agree.
You start saying.
I'm saying that this all or nothing thing is also problematic because, if, for instance, if you tomorrow woke up and you heard yourself thinking, "Oh shit, I could be doing Uber, I could be doing Uber, I could be doing Uber," what would you say?
Yeah, it's a problem.
You say shh.
Yeah.
You say go fuck yourself. Like.
So in other words, I think we're like arguing here.
My point.
Where is the line again?
You already have a line. Some things.
There is a line. Yes.
There already
in
is
your
a line.
head.
In your head, there's a line. Some
Yes.
things make sense to feel like that about, and some things don't. We already decided.
But I think it's not a very clear line, at least.
But there are things that will bother you, and there are things that won't already.
Yeah.
So I'm saying there's already some like algorithm there that decides.
So what do you want to? Okay.
So I'm saying it does. I think it does make sense to. You can push things around. You're not going to get rid of loss altogether. That's not a good idea. But certain cases, if they're really stupid, if they're really, really, really stupid, like more stupid than the usual.
But the problem is that everything is stupid.
But there's more and less. That's what I'm trying to say.
Is it?
Yeah, feeling.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it feeling loss of if someone died?
No,
is it bad?
That's a little extreme.
But what do you think about it?
No, let's keep this financial. I think
okay.
It's simpler.
Okay.
If you
lost $100,000.
Right, you lost $100,000. You could zoom out and like do a whole thing, and it won't be rational. But I think we'll agree that that's more rational to feel a loss about that than it would be to feel about leaving your apartment and not paying for rent.
Yeah.
There's still a spectrum.
Where?
Right, so where the line is not clear.
Yes.
But I'm saying going with the line that we happen to have now is also stupid. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It makes sense to push things
Yeah,
around.
but then you need to like ask where. Yeah. Then you need to ask where. I think maybe it's just a side. Maybe I'm just like offering an idea. Maybe to move a line, you need to know where to draw the line. There is a line, yes, but you're drawing a new line here. So where to draw that line now? Then oh shit, where should I draw it? And that's a problem because you can say.
Yeah, so I don't think of it as drawing a new line. I think of it as pushing things over the line.
So that's how moving the line, moving the line.
Just like, let's say the rent thing bothers me, but I can think about it enough and realize how ridiculous it is, and eventually it'll.
You're
move
basically
over to the
saying
side.
so to be a little more sophisticated, irrational. Be more sophisticated, irrational, because you will still be irrational. You must agree with that.
Yeah, for sure.
So be
But
more,
I'm just saying
a more
not to-
sophisticated, irrational person.
Like not to accept that the things that you feel loss about, you just feel loss about.
No,
and
you
things that you don't, and that's just how it is. Like
Yeah.
that's how it goes. That's it. I'm saying there is.
Be a little more sophisticated with your irrationality.
Yeah, like for instance, if you notice that you want to go on a trip and you're having this pinch about going on a trip, you tell it. There's two options. You either don't go on a trip because you feel that pinch, or you go on a trip and you tell that feeling to go fuck itself.
Yeah.
I'm saying in certain scenarios it makes sense to tell
The
that
question
feeling
is
to go
where,
fuck itself.
when then?
So again, if we started out about the rent, I think that's a good example of one where it would be stupid to follow that pinch and make it.
Yeah, but
change the decisions.
but you don't have a rule. So in other words, you're saying every situation will be dependent on the situation.
Yeah.
But you don't have an algorithm.
Yeah, I don't think we have a clear rule here.
So in other words, I also have an algorithm in my mind. What's bad about that? Knich. I did a knich here.
Yeah, for sure you have an algorithm there, but it's more random than...
Why do you think your algorithm is better than mine? And I'm just like playing a devil advocate here, but I think it's a good point.
Let's not
What do you think your new algorithm? No. What do you think your two? Yeah. Why do you think the new one is better than the old one?
Because the new one has more thought involved. That's why I think it's better.
What is it?
More analysis.
The new one, and you're praising the new one better than the rational part.
It involved analysis. Yeah.
Maybe it's a very shallow analysis then. It's like,
yeah, but it's better than no one.
Yeah, you just thought about it for like 2 seconds and go, okay, yeah, I'll take that one.
But it's better than no analysis is what I'm saying.
Maybe there is analysis.
Yeah, that's why. That's where the whole like enough reading about behavioral economics to know that it's a lot of bullshit.
Yeah, no, and that's a question on everything is basically, is it better or not? I think it's like you can't say it's not. You can be guaranteed, you can be sure, 100% sure that the new way is better.
No, you can't.
You can't.
But yeah, still
But it's because it's still an algorithm. That on what exactly you're basing that algorithm?
Right.
On data from how long? In data, basically, right? You are basing your data on
data.
On data? No,
I think we should conclude.
You should conclude. We should conclude.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got a little. But it's an interesting topic. Yeah, it's like it's 55 minutes here.
Yeah.
So it's a very interesting topic. I think we explored most of it at least.
We opened a few doors
Yeah.
and didn't close them. That's what happened.
Not fully, but
Yeah.
we opened them. Maybe not like we didn't fully open the door. So there's like a little.
Yeah, there's a few different questions, and I think we were dancing between them a little bit. But overall, yeah, I think we can say that we've established a few interesting things. The first is that loss in a lot of obvious cases is irrational, and then we moved from there to say that, wait, if you actually think about all loss, it ends up being irrational.
Yeah, and we have
then
a
that
little
opens
problem.
the second question about, if it's irrational, are we trying to delete it or not? And that's a whole separate thing. And you pointed out
That maybe you don't want to delete everything.
You don't want to delete a lot. Exactly. So then the question is, okay, wait. So we want to keep it in. So how do we then go on
The line thing.
deciding about when you want to feel lost and when it don't? And that loops all the way back to the rent thing that we spoke about in the beginning, where it's like you're feeling bad about leaving the house when you're paying for rent,
Yeah.
and you know that it's irrational. What do? Do you try to delete it, or do you listen to it?
And that's the new line.
No answer.
Yeah, that's a question.
This is what Steigen is about.
Yes, this is just exploring the idea. There is no question. There is no answer. There is no answer. You just like made it much more complicated than it was before.
Yeah.
And you're welcome.
Yeah.
That's what we do. Just complicate stuff.
We're here for you.
And yeah, I think there is some.
I also wanted to say, like, I'm really grateful to the work that you're doing. You know, putting out your content publicly. I mean, it's changing lives.
It's changing lives.
Yeah,
I think someone said that in
need
the
this message in today's world.
Yeah.
This inspirational voice.
It's a new form. I think that's the new form
it's
of
a new format, like long. Yeah.
the long form.